You are now in the zone. With Taste Test Live. Hosted by Damien, Lamar, and Blue Franswa.
What's jazzin'?
Yo, I'm jazzing.
Welcome back.
We back.
Welcome to Taste Test Live. My name is Damien Lamar, host of Taste Test on WJCT 89.9 in Jacksonville, Florida. Taste Test is a weekly 1-hour music urban radio show that airs every Sunday night at 10 and Tuesday nights at 11, all times Eastern. Joining me again is my co-host, Blue Franswa Extraordinaire. Woohoo! Whippy! Before we begin and have a taste of what's been happening in the world of music and pop culture, Blue and I are excited to welcome the return of an amazing woman, the woman who gives off some amazing pheromones, MJbaker.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. This is so fun.
Oh, we have so much to talk about. So much has happened since you've been on the podcast.
Yes.
And I can't wait for you to tell us some of the progress that you've made in 2018. You like took it by the horns.
I did, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
You surprised yourself?
I really did. This was definitely a year of surprises.
Yeah.
And like
good.
you said earlier, sowing seeds.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who MJbaker is, for the past 16 years, MJbaker has been an active member and participant of the Jacksonville community as a youth counselor, focusing most of her time and attention on young women. With her kindred adventurous spirit and generous heart, she touches the lives on and off the stage. I know because I've experienced it. Her future endeavors are to create a nonprofit organization to benefit troubled youth. She aspires to incorporate her own production and recording company with the youth program. She also uses the influences of Hall & Oates, India Ari, Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill, Billie Holiday, Joan Hart, Pat Benatar, and the Dixie Chicks, and many other genres like country, soul, jazz, gospel, and folk. She prefers not to be pigeonholed into one particular genre because MJbaker both excites and captivates her audiences and plans on doing it for years to come. So welcome back again to Taste Test Live, MJbaker.
Yay.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
So we're gonna take before we dive in and talk about the season and talk about the last podcast of the year. Those of you who are listening, this is the last one for the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an honor.
So we have a guest that actually did a double entendre.
I like that.
The perfect pairing. She came back twice, and we've only been on a podcast, for like 6 months.
Yeah. 6
And you've been with us twice, so thank you for coming back again.
It's a blessing to be a regular.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump right into our next segment, Put This in Your Mouth.
Yes.
But before we do that, Blue, can you take a quick moment and tell our first-time listeners what our show is all about? What is Taste Test Live?
Yes. Every week on Taste Test Live podcast, we have music digestion session and discuss the highlights and happenings of music and entertainment. We interview artists, singers, producers, entrepreneurs, and more here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Right here. Also coming in the new year, we'll be featuring more live in-studio performances and are booking into March 2019 for guests. So if you'd like to be a guest on Taste Test Live or Taste Test, the radio show, or on our podcast, Taste Test Live, head over to tastetest.live and we'll strongly consider bringing you on.
Yes.
Yeah. So this before I thought about something.
Yeah.
The photo contest, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Are we ready to talk about the photo contest?
we could do it real quick.
Do we pick somebody?
No, what I was going to do was, since we're going into the holiday, we can make an announcement, maybe, via social media, but whoever listens to this show, I would like for whoever posts, we're going to, you know what? That picture of me and you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is whoever posts that and get like 50 likes will win a $150 session from me.
All right. So basically what they have to do is they can go to that tastetest.live and they can save that graphic.
Yep.
That's on the website.
And they got to post it on their social media page.
Okay.
It could be Facebook, Instagram, but the first person who gets 50 likes, that's it, just 50 likes.
Just 50 likes. Okay.
Yeah, they have to just take a picture, screenshot it, post it on their personal page, no stories, just personal page. And the first person that get 50 likes on their page will win a $150 session from me.
Go do it. Run now.
Yeah.
All independent artists, you should definitely do it.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. All right. And be sure, I'm going to add something else to make it a little bit more challenging.
Oh.
They have to hashtag Taste Test Live.
Oh, why not?
That's good.
Yeah. So we'll be looking at the hashtag so we can tell how many people have the most likes.
Yeah. Oh, and they got to tag us so we can know,
Yeah.
So post a picture, tag us, hashtag.
All right. Good. All right, cool. So here we are back again for Put This in Your Mouth.
Yes, in this week's episode of Put This in Your Mouth, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame have just announced their new inductees, the newest class of inductees for 2018. And guess who the 15 nominees are? And there are 7 still remaining. The Cure, Def Leppard, Janet Jackson. She got that in the bag. Stevie Nicks, Radiohead, Roxy Music, and the Zombies. And there's still 7. They still trying to decide, but again, these are just the 15 nominees, and I think they're going to finalize it. So by this month or the beginning of next year. But they're going to announce. Those are just the inductees, but they're going to announce the final people that they're going to induct into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's nice. That's a great lineup too. So 15.
Yeah.
And how many of the 15 will be inducted again?
There's still 7. According to NPR.org, they released an article on this, and they were saying that these are the 15 nominees, and there's 7 remaining that will be included as well. But they still trying to figure that out. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most likely Janet Jackson. I mean, everybody mentioned is going to be in there, but I think they still trying to figure out the other 7 as well. So, but those that but that's I'm a big fan of Stevie Nicks. I'm a big fan of Def Leppard. Well, when I say big fan, like I'm familiar with like a lot of the album work, like as far as like the iconic singles. But I'm not a big fan of rock and roll music, but I do appreciate what they brought to the culture. But Janet Jackson is, of course, my favorite from this group. So.
And I have to say Radiohead.
Yeah, Radiohead.
Radiohead, and there was another. Name the list one more time.
It is The Cure, Def Leppard, Janet Jackson, Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks. Yeah. Roxy Music, Radiohead, and the Zombies.
Okay.
I'm surprised that Stevie Nicks hasn't been inducted yet. Like,
I know after all this
crazy.
time, yeah.
You know what? It looks like, people who have been in music over a span of like
40 years maybe.
I'll say 30.
30. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Radiohead's been, I think they've been making music since the early 90s, so that would fall.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at it because. Yeah.
So there's a timeline, like a.
Yeah, I mean, it's like say with how great your music. It's like saying you get inducted into the R&B Hall of Fame next year, and you only been out. You know what I'm saying? Like that people have been aware of you for the last 2 years. So it's like you got to put in it's like a time oriented type thing. So. Yeah.
All right. So Tiana Taylor, she also features a new video featuring Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, it's off her the KTSE album that Kanye West produced.
Okay.
So she did a remix with Wu-Tang Clan, and she directed her own video and released it, I think, December 15th. And it was so 90ish. She paid homage to Mary J. Blige and all of the female women icon. And what was so cool about it was she included some of like hip hop's greats, like from the Wu-Tang Clan, Method Man, Ghostface Killer, and Raekwon. And so in there, there's like some kind of beef between her and Ghostface Killer. But when she dropped it, I mean, it went viral immediately. And she paid homage to like New York culture, hip hop. So you remember that song by Method Man and Mary J. Blige, "You All I Need"?
Yeah.
They kind of played on that.
Oh, okay.
So it was a lot of messages that was in the video, but she definitely paid homage to a lot of the female and the whole '90s culture.
So did Kanye produce the video? Did he have anything to do with it?
No. It was all. I mean, it was, the song was already out. You played it before. I don't know if you played it on the show, but I think I've heard. But it's the song "You're Gonna Love Me." Gonna Love Me.
Yeah.
So she did a remix to it and added
the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, and you know what? When I first heard the song, I didn't think it was her. Like, I didn't know that she could be that soulful. Like, I knew she could sing, but I didn't think she could be that soulful. So I was very impressed.
I gotta go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
so nice.
I haven't heard it.
It's her song is on a lot of the neo soul mixes. Like it.
I've heard the song. I haven't heard the remix.
Yeah. It's the same song. She just add their verses and it kind of plays on relationships and breakups, stuff like that. So, but it's really cool. So y'all check that out.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. What else is on deck for Put This in Your Mouth?
Earlier we was having a conversation, and I referred to my family as my Lil ILIL family, and I was antagonized by the great Damien. Talking about, why do we as people?
No, I'm gonna throw us under the bus a little bit.
Why?
We as African American Black people,
Right.
specifically people in the South.
Right.
Oh, you got your little car now. Oh, I see MJ.Baker over there. She got her little CD. Oh, you got your little lipstick on?
Yeah,
Okay.
we do that.
I like your little jewelry. Trying to be all cute. And, it's like a side way of throwing shade at somebody.
You think so?
Yeah. I like your little jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Why
Yeah,
does my
little.
jacket have to be little?
yeah,
You know?
it is. Or like when they say, "Oh, look at you."
I see you do your little thing.
Look at you.
Yeah, in some circles, like the southern kiss of death, I've been told is how precious. Or, like in my family, and my aunt, if she's listening to because she listens to my podcast
Right.
faithfully. She listens.
Right.
And they were all listening on the way down from Savannah over on Sunday. And this one's for her because all the ladies in my mom's family, on my mom's side of the family, they'll be having a conversation like, "Yeah, girl, did you hear about?" Mm-hmm. And then she did. Did she do it? Yes, she did, girl. You never know who they're talking about, what happened, because they go, and if it's real bad, they're,
Wow.
What does that mean? Like,
It's like no words. It's like it's so bad. So really, what I think is that religious, that southern way of, if you don't have something good to say, don't say it at all.
so you just have to.
So
just give
instead of you really saying it, you like.
Wow. Hope y'all learning something out there, people.
Yeah. So you don't have to use words, but you can, I guess, be thinking of something like.
And it's like I feel like my family is really funny because I picked up on how, let's say if somebody has on a crazy outfit or something that's inappropriate or we deem inappropriate, and you be like, "Oh, okay," and then you just kind of touch him on the shoulder, like, it's
Is that what you're gonna wear today?
But there's no before or after. It's just okay.
Okay.
Dot.
Yeah.
okay.
Is this what you're gonna do? Is this how you feel?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so I was just making a reference to my beautiful family, and I just, not that we're little, I was just...
Yeah, you got your little family and everything.
Yeah, I was just saying that I was happy that I got my own family, and I just made a reference to I got my little family, as in, it was indicative to this is mine in my own little way.
That's hilarious.
Right.
Moving on. Okay. We're still in putting this in your mouth. I hope you guys are
Moving
enjoying
on.
what we're talking about right now. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So Nancy Wilson. So on some sad news. I'm gonna bring us down a little bit. Let me tell you. Nancy Wilson, for those people who do not know, Nancy Wilson is a phenomenal African American jazz legendary vocalist. She could scat. She could tell that one of my favorite songs by Nancy was Guess Who I Saw Today.
Yeah, I like that.
And at the end, she's like, come in. You've had a, basically talking to her gentleman fella.
Well,
You've had a long day at work. Let me make a drink for you. Can I make you a quick martini? On account of that, I think I'll have one too. And then she goes, guess who I saw today, my dear? Yeah. She's basically doing some shopping, and all of a sudden, I saw you. At the very end of the song. So she can literally tell a story
That's what she
in a jazz song, and if you watch any of her old performances, she captivated audiences after audience after audiences after audiences, and did so well over 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So she died at the age of 81.
Yeah. She had no formal training. She listened to Nat King Cole growing up, and she learned a lot from just listening to music. And I think when she got first signed, she had no formal training.
Yeah. She just had something about her. The French would call it the je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
It's that what you can't, the intangible, you can't touch, that thing. Yeah.
But that's the cool thing about, vocalists in her era, was that they weren't all formally, it was all about feeling. It was, you sing from your gut, and even the ones who didn't have the best voices, because of their expression, because of the feeling, it was like, wow, I felt that,
Right.
and that, I think that's the cool thing, why people, still love that type of music today, because you feel it.
Because you feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel
You
it.
know a whole lot about feeling something. Indicative of your very first debut album,
Yeah,
Feel
for
Something.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell us all about feeling something.
Yeah.
I like that.
So one last note before we transition
Oh,
on
yeah.
to talking to MJ and getting to know more about how the rest of her year was after we spent time talking to her several months ago. Really quick, I just thought this was funny. It was funny. Famous Dex.
Yeah.
What do you know about Famous Dex?
He was signed to Rich the Kid. He got the song Plug Walk.
Okay.
I'm a little hip, sorry.
Yeah, that's good. No, you
And then he
educated
came
me.
And he's along the lines of Lil Uzi Vert. Like, he was on that like that hump, that hype crunk music.
Except for when he fell asleep on Instagram Live.
Yeah, that video was posted.
So it's about a whole minute. You can
I think
go.
he got epilepsy.
No, not
MJ said-
what I'm looking at, and maybe he's giving, for those of the individuals that that smoke weed. He was smoking a blunt, and he was just on Instagram Live and just dozed out.
Life is rough, man.
But he was on something. He was on something else.
Yeah, he definitely.
'Cause I mean, people don't fall asleep like that when they smoking weed, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's always high.
He was like, it was like, head nodding, falling down, like.
What was the comment? What was they were saying in the comments? Is he dead?
It's like, oh, he's dead, bro. Oh, his the cigarette's burning his fingers. Gonna burn his finger off. Just different stuff, and it's like, in this age of social media, here I'm talking because I'm probably older than most of you are listening. In this age of social media, just because it's happening right now does not mean that you have to share it with everybody.
Right.
There is something to be said about people when they go on, on social media and they go live, regardless of whether they're prepared to go live or not. But when you're live, there's an open gate. There's a window opens and people can see you. And if you have a large platform like Famous Dex or Tiana Taylor or any of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees that we talked about earlier, if they were to happen to go live at any moment, thousands of people can literally have a peek into what their lens on their phone shows them.
That's
or
powerful.
the laptop.
That's powerful.
Right? So, man, listen, do you, but don't go live.
Right.
We don't want to see you fall asleep.
Right.
We want you to close your eyes, turn your phone off, and lay down.
Yeah.
That's what we want to happen, you know. So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I hope y'all enjoyed our this week's episode of Put This in Your Mouth.
Yes.
You like that, MJ?
That was great.
That was pretty good.
I try to be
That was
creative.
pretty good.
We're going to take a quick break. Before we do, MJ, you did bring something to the station for us to play.
Hey, this is MJ.Baker. Here's my newest single, This Time of Year, right here on Taste Test. Have a taste. With the love that's around you, you've already won. I always fall in love this time of year. May your life be full of joy and happy cheer. God bless you and yours, hold them near. I always fall in love this time of year. This time of year, no fear, hope and joy. Oh, newness of heart, newness of mind, change my life. Oh, new light flowing where spirit goes around and round, straight and narrow. No more circles. I always fall in love this time of year. Fall in love this time of year. I always fall in love this time of year. May your life be full of joy and happy cheer. God bless you and yours, hold them near. I always fall in love this time of year. This time of year, no fear.
That's my ride out song. It is. Like the whole month of December, actually since Thanksgiving when you dropped it, it's been my ride out song. It was my ride out song on my way to my family's house because I knew I was getting ready to eat. I was riding out from my house
Yay.
to their house listening to This Time of Year. Because it put me in the mood. It made me,
Yeah.
you know, Thanksgiving
like
is sort of like the first peak at Christmas because most people already have their tree up for whatever reason. You know,
Yeah.
like, can we just get through the holiday first, please? Can we let the turkey have his day
Yeah.
before y'all go throwing up y'all Christmas trees and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, but that song is amazing, and I have to say the entire 5-song EP or four song plus is exquisite. Congratulations on another fantastic release.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. So your first debut album, your debut record, Feel Something, came out in April.
April 21st, 2017.
Yes. Shortly after that, you came right to the station. You gave us an exclusive.
Right.
And we played your music on the show.
Right.
Everybody loved it. Everybody loves you anyway. And now, from April up until now, what led up to you producing your first sort of holiday themed album?
To be honest, I feel like it was a number of things that kind of transpired, but personally in my life. And then one morning I just woke up and just said, I want to create. I want to do something. And then I called because 3 of the guys in my band are producers. And since they've been playing with me, Orlando Wood, shout out to Orlando 28. Brian Jones, aka Bishop Jones, and James Mallet, aka J Mal. So I hit them all up and said, hey, you guys, I'll cook, come over, and I just want to vibe and see what we come up with. I want to do a project. And I had already written Holiday Blues, and I sent that to them to kind of listen to. And then, it's like in one night, Bishop, who's an amazing creator and curator of music, he brought some beats, and he's been begging to work with me, but I just wasn't as confident. So when he came over, we just, vibed and wrote. And
so are you sure it wasn't the food?
Yeah, I mean, that's
what did you cook?
I cooked baked ziti.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was.
What were any other sides?
No, there was just a lot of meat in the baked ziti. I just cooked it for them, and some water because
after eating all that meat, they needed it.
Bishop forgot the wine.
Oh.
The only thing I asked them for was some wine, and they forgot it.
It's funny. I think you have this thing. So the last time we recorded, there was a one time that MJ was actually in my home studio.
Yeah.
And the recording was not good because we were having a good time.
Yeah,
and I think when she laughed, it peaked. And I think I mentioned that in the first podcast. Yeah. But there was one section, it's like, so are you gonna get the wine or not? So I know you like your wine,
right?
So you had there was no wine.
There was no
but
wine.
They ate, and then they created, obviously.
Yeah, and then we just started creating, and it's like Bishop just said, "Hey, I have this beat, I have this," and we just started writing, and coming up with concepts, and it was really dope because. I had kind of up until that point been a little intimidated by tracks because I didn't, I feel like the music is locked in, versus the freedom of live music, the live instrumentation and all of that. And so, but when he started playing it and, it's like instantly I just started writing. And then, Orlando was like, hey, why don't we throw this in there, let's do this, and so it was really great. And by the end of the night we had 3 songs written.
Lovely.
And so it was a beautiful process.
So from a production perspective, and this is my opinion, I feel the production is amazing.
Yeah,
there's lots of textures. You're going to there's a mood that you set,
right?
And the sequencing, can you talk about the process of what made you put this time of year before Holiday Blues? Or, what was the were you involved in the sequencing of the album?
Yes. So I was, I did all of that. So I think what it is that I just prayed to see how did I want to set the mood and which way did I want it to go. And I'm always trying to tell a story up until the end. And even the bonus track, Night Out. Yeah. I was just like, let's make this a surprise. It's something that people probably wouldn't expect from me. And so I wanted to leave it with a bang.
Yeah. It's definitely a track that gets people moving. And
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I can almost see you like inviting people like, okay, I'm going to dance on the dance floor. Like, come on.
Right,
You
yeah.
come on.
Right.
Let's go. You know, because you say come on
Yeah.
in the song.
Yeah.
So I have listened to it's one of my favorite albums that's on repeat. It's been on
Wow.
repeats, like I said, since Turkey Day.
Yay.
And I appreciate you even giving me the opportunity to do the press release for
Yeah.
you. And I hope that helped. You also had like a debut concert, album release concert on the 15th of December.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It went really well, and I think it's like this whole year has been a surprise for me. And so Saturday night the show was really amazing. You know, I feel like this year was a time of birthing for me, and so I feel like I had my
Yeah.
I started pushing Saturday night. You know, if that makes sense. You know, so it's been a dope year. Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
a dope show.
Two projects, two solid, well-produced projects in 2018. I mean, Blue, what are your thoughts when you heard it?
Well, I'm familiar with the producers. I don't think they get a lot of credit. Like
No, not
28.
at all.
Yeah.
Like Bishop actually worked with T-Pain. Like he's like
He still does.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
Wow. Okay.
I've been in the studio with him at WinLab with MJZ and watched them just create like I think they was like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning and I watched them create and they was just like going at it like just like so it was kind of like watching like two black box, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just
Yeah.
like Einstein with the music, like just creating. So to see someone like her, create music with these guys is just amazing because I know for a fact 28, he's a drummer. He played in a lot of bands, and a lot of times I don't hear his name mentioned in the musical
Right,
circle.
yeah.
But he's like a what you call it, like a sleeping giant. Like
He
Yeah.
is.
he's laid back. He's
Oh,
not
yeah.
out on the scene, but he worked with so many people. He worked on so many projects, but he's not someone that says, "Hey, I'm 28. I did all
Right,
like he
right.
worked with. I mean, he produced and worked with a lot of people from writing to making music and even playing in bands, and you know what I'm saying. So
Shout out to 28.
Yeah, I mean, and he's an amazing songwriter, and I really thank the Lord for these guys in my life because, even in that one night, I learned so much about, through this whole project, just vocally. 28 is an amazing vocal arranger.
Yeah.
And he pushes me, like even when we're gigging, when we're doing shows, him and Bishop are like, "Are you serious? You're just gonna do it like that?" Like it's they and I feel like as an artist you need people
Yeah.
who aren't gonna just say, "Oh, you're," just kind of like let you be mediocre, but are gonna say, "Okay, if you don't believe in you, then why am I here?"
Yeah.
Push yourself, keep doing it. And so that's why I loved working with them on this project because it really stretched me and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it's amazing. I was listening to an interview on NPR. I believe it was actually earlier today, talking about the science behind the Christmas album. And there's a lot of individuals, a lot of artists that, they feel like they have to work. They have to put 3 and 4 albums out before they can get that prize Christmas album out, or a lot of people feel like, oh, it's the obligatory Christmas album. I have to do a Christmas album.
Right.
Was that wasn't what you wanted to do? You just wanted to do something different.
Right. And I wanted to, I just wanted to do something that was out of the ordinary. And I wanted to challenge myself. So it wasn't a thing of like, oh, I have to do this. It was just, no, I want to do it. I don't even have a concept for it. I just know I want to do something and make it and start a tradition of new holiday music, especially like, and one of my examples would be Mariah Carey, right?
Everybody loves that song.
So, I mean,
All I want for Christmas is you. Yeah.
All I want for Christmas is you. I mean, people are going to be singing at 30 when we're in our graves. People are going to be singing that song just like they do Blue Christmas or
That's somebody's wedding song.
Or Let It Snow by Boyz II Men. I mean, those are classics. And so for me, it's always for me creating a classic. Mm-hmm. Something that people are going to always be listening to. And I mean, and that was, it's holiday blues. I mean, we talked about Nancy Wilson earlier, and she was one of those women that I thought about when I was writing that song.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about Nancy Wilson. I thought about Ella Fitzgerald. I thought about Sarah Vaughan. I thought about all those women and just the grace and style of the music and how every note had a feeling. And the music, the songs weren't always happy. They were sad. They were remorseful. They, were about a lost love. And so when I started writing Holiday Blues, their voices were in my head, and it was like, and I just started writing it, and I'm thinking, oh, we got to have all these different instruments. And, and I just remember Bishop saying, no, just get James to play it on the guitar and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And
That's
it
how
was
the
like,
jam
and he, again, another person I feel is underrated in the midst
Absolutely.
of,
Absolutely. Connect us. He should be on. He needs to be in that seat where you're sitting right now.
You should have all
I
these
reached
guys
out to him
on.
already.
Yeah.
You have.
So I share him.
I lock people in. Like if I'm talking to him right then, I'm like, let's pull out our phones right now. Let's get you on here.
And you should have all of these guys on, especially, all three of them, because to me,
At the same time?
No.
Oh.
No, you never get anything done. No. But the wealth of knowledge that they have and, different things like that. And I know one of, James' main words to me, and he'll laugh, is chill out. It's going to be okay. Stop stressing. Because I'm always like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's a beautiful thing. I have to say wow. Congratulations to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I've known you for a while, and I haven't known you a long time.
Right,
as opposed to my good friend DeWitt Cooper, who you grew up with.
Right.
I didn't grow up with you, but when I heard about you, and then had the privilege of sharing the stage with you, and then now seeing you put out 2 exquisitely produced products.
Manifestations.
I mean, your debut album, it's solid. I mean,
Yeah.
it's solid.
I still listen to it.
If those people who are listening that are on the Grammys, the Soul Train Awards, MJ, you really listen to the album and consider at least nominating her for Best New Artist, because you're my favorite new artist right now. I mean, and you have 2 projects this year. So when I talked to you, you had mentioned this. There's 2 things about this particular album. You didn't actually play an instrument on this.
No.
Normally you play something.
Right, yeah.
How was that like for you?
It was pretty dope, but then at the same time it was that control freak comes out in you, and you're just like but to be able to release it and just concentrate on the lyrics and the vocals and tweaking different things. And there are things that I learned in the production of Feel Something that, after you do a project, you start going back and you take inventory and say, what would I have done differently? Mm-hmm. How would I have tweaked it here? Or what would I have done there? And so here I had an opportunity of freedom to think about those things and, and to really be more creative, I feel, because I didn't have to worry about playing an instrument or how does this sound or anything like that. So it was a different type of freedom for me. And plus, because I was kind of intimidated by the whole playing tracks. I would say I was a snob, meaning, if it's not acoustic, it ain't real. You know, you know, how can a person feel if it's not, you know, free music?
Yeah.
But then it was, you know, but then over time you mature and you realize, well, hey, I mean, you know, Jill Scott does it and you love her music, you know.
Right.
This person, Erykah Badu, you know, and I really think that Erykah Badu's mixtape really kind of encouraged, because she did a lot of, you know, it's a lot of trap beats, it's a lot of hip hop stuff that you
she
know, that a
traditionally
rapper
does not
could
do.
rap over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff that a rapper could rap over. She was singing or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, doing something creatively with. And so, you know, it kind of changed my mind and made me think, okay, stop being crazy and just do something different, you know? So,
Okay.
yeah.
So that is that any insight into what's to come for maybe 2019 or beyond?
Well, I will say that I have been writing like crazy,
Ooh,
actually.
that's good.
You know, like I wrote 2 songs yesterday, and or just coming up with concepts for songs. So I'm very excited because I feel like the more I grow personally, my music grows with me. And you know, I was very like, there's a song, you know, that I was, you know, singing, you know, putting notes into my phone about, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like, this is dope. And I was thinking about Erykah Badu as I was, you know, it's just like the cadence of it, the rhythm of it, you know, made me reminiscent of, you know, the On and On days and different things like that. So this the project that will come forth is going to be very innovative for me. I think very open, and I'm going to take my time because I want to be more honest.
Yeah.
And I feel like we need that. I mean, you look at artists now like her, and I feel like her, you know, even her music is very honest, you know, and different people who are, you know, out there now that are kind of getting a little bit of exposure, more exposure. So I want to be very honest. I don't want to hide anymore.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I can't wait. Your journey is so beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Can you let's play another song. Okay. One more. You don't mind sharing one more?
No.
With us?
No.
All right. So the second song, what's the second song going to be?
You want to go fast or slow?
That's on you, babe.
Okay. Let's do Night Out. Let's make people dance.
Yeah. So before we take out, we're going to go out with Night Out because this will get you in the mood. This will get you ready to do some holiday shopping.
Right.
Tell everybody how they can find you and what's to come.
Okay, so you can go to my website, www.MJbakermusic.com, at Instagram, MJBakerMusic, Twitter, MJBakerMusic, Facebook, MJBakerMusic. And you can find all my music on the major platforms like Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, all of that good stuff.
That's great. Blue, let's take us out. Give us our final notes before we head out for this. 2018 has been so good.
Yes,
it's been good.
yes.
It's been work.
Yes, and make sure you everybody participate into the contest. So following after the show, please make sure you post our picture of me and Damien, Taste Test Radio, and then hashtag Taste Test Live, right? Taste Test Live.
Hashtag Taste Test Live.
And the first person, make sure you tag us so we know. Matter of fact, you could tag the Taste Test. You could tag the Instagram, Facebook, either page. But the first person to get 50 likes will win a $150 session from Blue Franswa. And going right into it, if you like what you heard today, please follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Taste Test Radio. We also have a website, www.tastetest.live. There you can find all our old episodes featuring some past guests, Taste Test Live is also a fully syndicated podcast and is on podcast services such as Apple Podcasts, Google, and more.
That's right. And if you really, really love what you heard, please leave us a review and give us 5 stars, because stars belong on Christmas trees. No, not really. This podcast was produced, edited, and recorded courtesy of yours truly. And one last note before we leave, we are going to be taking a little bit of a break for the rest of the year. This is the last podcast of 2018. I am so excited to tell you about what's to come in 2019. You ready? Guess who's coming on Taste Test Live next year?
Who?
So we're going to start off the new year with our first podcast in January. Will be on January 9th, airing on January 9th.
Dun, 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 dun.
Chris White
Ooh.
from The Cats Downstairs.
Wow.
Powerful.
Yes, and then we'll also have Ace Wynn joining us.
Yes.
Charity Lanique, who I've been waiting to get her
Yeah,
on.
Charity, shouts out to her.
Yeah, Jason Lamar, the infamous Jason Lamar.
okay,
Yes,
okay.
he's coming on. As a matter of fact, it's going to be my birthday show. So
Oh, yeah.
we have a surprise.
Oh, we got to do our shoot before then. Okay.
Yes. Overstreet Ducasse is going to be returning.
Yes.
Paul Ivy, guitarist.
Ah.
Darren Ronan, who's also a fantastic musician. Mama Blue.
Ooh, Mama
and
Blue.
Philip Pan.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the first quarter, and we're booking all the way, as I mentioned earlier, we're booking all the way into March 2019. So get at us, because our calendar fills up pretty quickly. Don't be surprised if it's going to be June, but you really should reach out if you want to be a guest. A lot of my past guests have been by invite only.
Well.
So if you've been on, like MJ, that's because we love you.
They got to tune in to find out more?
Yes, you need to go ahead and subscribe to the podcast so that you get alerted when we do release an episode.
Gotcha.
I also am going to be releasing a present for everyone. And that present you'll get on Christmas morning, courtesy of Damien Lamar at Taste Test Live.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Tune in.
So, yeah, it'll be in video form, too.
Wow.
So,
Hope that doesn't go viral.
we'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
Don't fall asleep.
Yes. Post your little video.
Yeah, I might post it. I might post it early. I might not wait till Santa Claus comes.
Post your little video.
Yeah, get my little video. I'll be posting my little video. So, MJ,
Yes.
night out.
Yes. You gotta groove. Get up out of your seats and dance.
We're going to dance right out. Thanks so much for tuning in to Taste Test Live. Thanks to our guests, MJ.Baker and Blue Franswa.
Yes.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Got me grooving. The way you move your feet got my attention. Burning with desire.
my feet, it's got me grooving. The way you move your feet got my attention. Burning with desire, it's that simple. Boy, I like the way that you are moving. Picking up my feet, it's got me grooving.